Alrighty, I'm responding to your comment. I'm like, all of those are very good, valid points that you brought out. That, yeah, I felt like they did spend a lot of time in their mechanics, which most of their mechanics was actually really a pain. Like, especially in Natland with the using the animals, that was a little bit much. And then just sometimes trying to use the animals. I think I had my biggest issue. I think I had more issues with the bird out of anybody else. That was just kind of annoying for me. And then for Cry, I felt like a couple of parts with Cry was it when you trying to use like the you turn into the little wisp character or something similar to the silly, and you have to shoot it up in the air, but you have to change the color of the silly. Nah, it's not called a silly. What is it? Kavaki. I'm sorry, Kavaki, not a silly. Kavaki. And I felt like that one was a real pain. And then it was also the one spot, of course, with the quest for Columbina where I had to try to protect that NPC from getting hit from these imaginary monsters. And this was a long time ago. And if I had to say like another one that really gave me like a real issue was when in Cry was like when that boss where you literally had to throw the stones back and forth at the machine that went berserk. That kind of took me a little bit of while to do, and anything similar like that where you had to use it to throw the stones to um shoot the little flying mechanics. That those kind of things was a little bit annoying for me, and I felt like, yeah, they that would be good, a safe assumption of what they did was spend more time on making difficult ass mechanics instead of actually doing the story. And then also another one you said, definitely agree on the Millie Astro that I had totally forgot to bring that up. I'm like, the only thing I got out of Millie Astro is I got a chance to have an avatar that looks like me. And if I really wanted to run through my world with an avatar that looks like me, all right. I'ma just briefly mention on Millie Astor Wonderland. Millie Astor Wonderland is a waste of space. It's just another brand of gigabytes that's taking up space, and something else that's added on that we gotta worry about when we updating the game. Basically. The only thing that was good for me that came out of Millie Astor Wonderland is the fact that for once I could actually make an avatar of me and the character looks like me. But it's also at the same time it adds to my love hate relationship with Genshin. Like, oh, you can make dark skinned characters, you just won't. Again. And then also Millie Astro Wonderland is like whale. That's all it is. And then you don't really get all of the costume kind of if you really look at it. And then let me not get into the co-op stuff. Oh my goodness. I could do a whole full rant on the co-op. Mm. Now let's get into the other part real quickly. Now the Nefer thing is, yeah, I know that they was trying to rush to do everything else, and basically ran out of time, but it's still they was trying to incorporate and do. Nefer story um on top of Rainier, but it just wasn't Nefer. It was Rainier, Nefer, Sino, Tanari, Sethos, and then even going into a little bit of trying to throw a little bit of even some of the other characters background story in there real quick. So it was just like they was trying to cramp like 8 or 9 characters all in one thing. And definitely with Nefa and the Sumeru and the discrimination and stuff, it also kind of with correlates with how Genshin refuses to do characters with darker shades. And I'm like, and just like every other nation does have that as well and stuff, but um I think Sumeru was kind of like just the really like biggest point because it was pretty much the majority of the biggest area that we had to deal with times two. And and then long tail R&R quest and just everything else. Now, lastly, I'm a go on and lastly say this. Now, yes, this is a 10-year project for Genshin to get all of this going. But if already at year 5, here we are at year 5, and you having this much of a struggle right now, I'm afraid they may need to cut something totally entirely off at this point. And yes, we trying to desperately we want to get the Congreel, like all of this in between, and then also the missing extra Mondstadt we were supposed to get. The extra continuation of Mondstadt we were supposed to get never happened. And then, like, yeah, now we get into Nightcry, but this is just like the Nightcry was just the one or two halves. And then, if we gonna be really honest, the newest Nightcry area was a drop in the bucket. And then, once we get to Says Naya, they already talking about it's gonna be similar to probably maybe Dragon Spine. And then how many sections of that? And then like a lot of us is like, I know everybody plays a different traveler, but I'm like, to me, at the travelers right now is at the point of fatigue. Like they are getting tired of getting a runaround and really needing to know where the other sibling is, and like the stories are not coming together to get that a decent go into getting into that section. So that's how I'm feeling. This is just my personal take on it and stuff. But if you trying to do a 10-year plan and stuff, it, it, they already having issues now. So I hope Genshin does get it together because like hell, I'm ready for the siblings to find each other or whatever's gonna happen or remnants of the sibling, whatever it's gonna be. I'm just ready for that. So I hope they get it together, really.